Good afternoon. Today we will be making our paper plate banjo, and this is part of our musical instrument series that we've been doing in class over the past few weeks. So, to get started with our paper plate banjo, I'm going to introduce our materials. So first off, I have, and what you'll need for the paper plate banjo are 2 paper plates. I have 2 of them here. You will need the 2 paper plates. Okay? All right. Then you will need rubber bands. And I have a little link of rubber bands right here. And if you link them, you'll only need 4 because that's the length of the paper plate. If you decide that you're using a thick weight paper plate, you may not need to link your rubber bands. You may just can place it. You may can just put if you have long or wide rubber bands, you can just place it over the plate. But in my case, I didn't have long wide rubber bands, so I linked my rubber bands to make a more of a special and easy support for my bands there. Okay, so you'll need rubber bands. Okay. Next up, you will need some paint, and I have some paint here, so you'll need some paint to decorate your paper plate. You can use markers. You can use stickers. Okay. Next, you will need a cardboard piece for your handle. And if you have a paint stick around the home, that's fine to use. In my case, I used a cardboard piece, and I just took it from a box that I had laying around the house. And if you have a box of any sort that you're not using, or you have an empty cereal box, anything that's sturdy and kind of heavy of cardboard, you can use it. Okay, so I'll be using my cardboard for my handle. Okay. Next up, I will need, and you will need, a stapler. Okay, and that's to staple the paper plates together to give them a more sturdy effect. And I'm using a stapler also for my handle to staple to the top of my plates. Okay, you can use glue. Glue is next. Actually, I have some glue just in case you have glue. Okay, if you have glue around the house, that's fine. Glue is good to use if you don't have a stapler with your student. Okay, so you can use glue. Like I mentioned earlier, you can use markers to decorate your plate, and you can also use stickers. Okay, so feel free to use whatever you like, whatever you have around the home. Okay, so now to get started with assembling our paper plate banjo, I'm going to take our 2 plates here. Okay, and I'm going to take my stapler. Okay, and I'm going to just staple around the plate. Okay, so that's what I'm going to do now. I'm just going to take my staple around. You can get them kind of close if you're not sure how far apart, but since you're not placing anything inside, it doesn't matter the width. Okay, or the width away from each staple you should use. That way you don't have to use up a lot of staples, and you can also do hand over hand with your student, or your student can help you by placing the paper plate in the stapler for you, and you push. Okay, or you can help them push hand over hand, partially prompt as well. Okay, so now that I have my paper plate stapled, I will now go ahead and put the rubber bands on for the strings that you see on a real banjo. Okay. All right. So now I'm gonna take my rubber band link here. I want to just place it in this, because you're gonna need 3 of them. 3, so they'll kind of go in the. You can place them kind of in the middle in a row. Okay. So I'm going to staple mine and get that going like that, just so. Okay. Let's place it right there under there like that. And staple. Okay. Okay, so I stapled that. Another one. Now I'm going to staple the end. Get that going kind of nice. And hand over hand with your student. If they're not independent or you just want to be careful, you may do so like that. Okay, so you have one strum. I'm going to cut the ends off to make it nice and neat. Okay. Okay, so I've done that. Okay, so I have my first rubber bands, set of rubber bands attached. Now I'm going to go with the second string of rubber bands, and place it on there just like this. Okay, so it's gonna, you can space it a little bit if you want, so that it's, you know, it's like strings on a banjo. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is just take my stapler again and staple. Okay, and I have stapled first set. Okay. Okay, so I got that going like that. I'm gonna just cut the ends off there. If you make yours short, no problem. You may not need to do all of this, but if you do, just take a little pair of scissors and cut off the ends there, and you'll have your strands. And then I'm going to add the third and last set of rubber bands, okay? All right. This is coming along, turning out nicely. Okay. Okay, and then we're going to just do the cut. Okay. Okay, and now you have your third set. I'm going to cut that off. All right, so we now have the strings for our rubber band strings, okay? All right, so that is what we have here. Now, I will take my handle, and I'm going to need to put that at the top, okay? So I'm going to take my handle. It's going to look like this here, or you're going to put it in the back like this, so however long or short you may want it is up to you. And I'm going to take my stapler and staple on one end, and then I'm going to come to the other side. You can help your student turn the paper plate for assistance on this part as well. And you now have your, you've now assembled your banjo, okay? So I have the handle, your paper plate, and your rubber bands all assembled for your paper plate banjo. Now, if you'd like to go ahead and decorate, I will do that. I will paint mine, so you can just take time here and paint and get that going. And just paint as you need to or would like. Okay. And I'm going to do some like stripes here. I think that's cute for our banjo. Okay. And I'm just using the handle to paint, but you can lay it down on your table or floor if you're using that as a surface. That helps as well. So And you can paint the other side if you like, otherwise you don't have to. But it's okay, however, which way you may want to do that. Okay. So we have our completed okay, and this is what it's going to look like when it's fully dry. I have my first example here, a completed example of a banjo, and I did paint the back. But you know, you can do whatever you like. You can use stickers on your banjo. You can use markers as well if you don't have any paint at home. But this is now your newly completed paper plate banjo. Okay, enjoy. Happy strumming.